It's a theological claim that our government is making today. So it's just in the last few days, there have been amazing things happening in this. If we look at Maya talked about the civilian casualties and the numbers flying around. Very, very difficult to pin this down because, even after the president's speech, the United States still is not acknowledging that this is happening. This is still a secret. But about a year ago, John Brennan, who was advisor to the president on matters of terrorism and is now the head of the CIA, he bragged that there were zero, none, nada, no unintended deaths in this. When he was pushed, he said, okay, maybe one. The president later said, okay, but it's in the single digits. On June 6th, the CIA, papers were released by the CIA saying that CIA does not know the identity of a quarter of those killed in drone strikes in Pakistan. They don't even know the identity of a quarter of them. But of course, we also know, there's also been leaked that the CIA considers in a drone strike, any male over 14 years old is a combatant unless proven posthumously that young man is not. Also, something that came up, if you saw, I believe it was the Today Show, it was on NBC Morning News, a young man named Brandon Bryant spoke out, and he was at Creech Air Force Base, a drone operator, and he's speaking, and this is as mainstream as you can get, and he feels that he has become heartless and a sociopath under the drone program. And he describes, chillingly, the deaths of several of these people and what this is doing to him. I think to me, the thing that got me most is he was talking about with this technology, when these drones fly 24/7, they're flying at night. They're seeing through infrared cameras, which sense heat. And if you turn the lights out and use infrared camera, you'd be able to make out the features of the face of each one of us, because it's that accurate in picking out. So he was ordered to shoot one of these missiles, and when he saw through this infrared technology on the screen, inches away from his face, he saw the impact, saw arterial bleeding, saw the blood pooling around this man, saw the agony on his face, and then saw, as the man died, and he became the ambient temperature of the ground and of the air, he disappeared to him. And he's haunted. And we should be haunted, and the people who ordered him, there should be haunted. And we should be the ones doing the haunting. If their consciences will let them, our consciences should not. And also what happened just last Saturday, June 8th, actually it was the night before, last Friday, just a week ago. On Wednesday before that, the new Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, promised his people, I will stop these drone strikes. I will stop them. They will not be allowed anymore. No more will the United States be shooting missiles in our territory. 2 days later, a drone strike, and I believe it was 5 people killed. And at midnight, very, very late at the night, the ambassador to the United States was called in to visit with the Prime Minister to talk about this. And so this is very, very dangerous. For those of you who want to follow this up, a document that David Swanson put out a couple days ago, even the warriors say the wars make us less safe, quoting various members of the U.S. military and diplomatic and intelligence services, quotes General Stanley McChrystal, who, until he told too much truth about Afghanistan, was in charge of the U.S. forces in Afghanistan. And he says this: "What scares me about drone strikes is how they are perceived around the world. The resentment created by American use of unmanned strikes is much greater than the average American appreciates. They are hated on a visceral level, even by people who have never seen one or seen the effects of one." And he went on to say, more recently, he said, "What the people of the world are seeing in this is the arrogance of Americans saying, we will kill whoever we want, wherever we want, whenever we want, because we can." So these are not making us safer. They are, another member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff have said, thinks that we're creating 10 new enemies in Yemen with every person that we kill. We are not safer. Our soldiers are not safer. Our world is not safer because of this. I'd like to read just one more thing here. There's a professor of law at Notre Dame University who has made a distinction between the CIA's program, which is bad, which is we're going into countries where we're not at war, where we are, there's no combat going on, and assassination is going on. People are being picked out, either personality strikes, which could be anybody acting in a way consistent with a terrorist, or else signature strikes, which are people who are named, and then they hunt for that person and then kill them. And she was saying it's very, very different in Afghanistan, because in Afghanistan we're fighting a war, and this is a great tool there because we're using it to protect our forces on the ground. And I want to read some from this. This is from the April 10th, 2011 LA Times, and it describes a drone attack about a year previously, and they actually got the transcript of the discussions between the different people involved in this drone strike. And for a military drone strike, and by the way, I believe the CIA is going to be getting out of the drone business sometime soon. It will all go to the military, into places like here in Des Moines. And this describes the process, because they have to determine that an imminent threat exists. They have to determine U.S. forces are in trouble. They have to determine that the people that are being targeted are combatants. And there are checks and balances. This is not cavalier. This is not rogue. This is happening in a very orderly way, and there are the soldiers on the ground communicating with the airmen at Creech. At this point, it was Creech Air Force Base in Nevada, and then there is a bunch of people in Oskaloosa, Florida, where they're watching, where they have the screeners who have to approve the drone strike. They have to ascertain that all these are set up, and then the order to fire comes. So there were, on this morning, just about dawned, about a dozen U.S. Special Operations soldiers on the ground in Afghanistan. And sun is coming up. They see 3 vehicles going through the mountains. We have 18 passengers dismounted and spreading out at this time, an Air Force pilot said from a control room at Creech Air Force Base in Nevada, flying a Predator drone using a joystick, watching live video transmission and radioing. Next to the pilot is Predator's camera operator. And they see Afghans get out of these vehicles, get on the ground, and kneel in the same direction. They're praying. They are praying, said the camera operator. He was sure they were the Taliban. This is it. This is their force. Praying? I mean, seriously, that's what they do. They're going to do something nefarious. The crew's intelligence coordinator chimed in, and he's in Nevada as well. Camera operator watched the men climb back into the vehicles. Oh, sweet target, he said. But this was a group of there were men, women, and children, rural people going to the capital city for all kinds of stuff, going to the pharmacy, registering their kids for stuff, shopping. More than 24 people. Hazaras, they were afraid of the Taliban, which is one reason why they were going, packed in together in these 3 vehicles. And then these screeners, they're enlisted personnel. These are all very young people, are watching all this. And on the ground, the A-team, led by an Army captain, who had several tours in Afghanistan. The drone operators asked the A-team on the ground what it wanted to do about the suspicious vehicles that may be threatening them. Roger, ground force commander's intent is to destroy the vehicles and personnel, came the unit's reply. But they had to make a positive identification. Is it an immediate threat? Hey, why do you have 20 military males at 5 a.m. collecting each other? There can only be one reason. That's because there's U.S. troops in the area. The Predator pilot thought he saw a rifle inside one of the vehicles. See if you can zoom in on that guy, he told the camera operator. Is it a rifle? Can't really tell, but it looks like an object. I was hoping we could see make out a rifle. The pilot said, never mind. What have those dudes got? The camera operator said, yeah, I think that dude had a rifle. I do too. And then again, the camera operator says, that truck would make a beautiful target. But fortunately, the folks in screeners in Florida spotted 1 or more children in the group. Bull! Where? The camera operator said. I don't think they have kids at this hour. And he demanded that the screen operators freeze the video image of the purported child and email it to him. Why did he say possible child? The pilot said. Why are they so quick to call kids but not call a rifle? The camera operator was dubious too. I really doubt that children call. Man, I really hate that. Well, maybe a teenager, but I haven't seen anything that looked that short. And they heard from the ground again, the A-team. Their unit's operator said, we want to take the whole lot of them out. The screeners bring up their fear that there are children there. Roger, replied the A-team, which was unable to see the convoy at all. When we say children, are we talking toddlers, teenagers, or toddlers? Camera operator replied, not toddlers, something more like adolescents or teens. Yeah, adolescents, we're thinking early teens, the pilot says. By this time, the A-team radioed that its captain had concluded that he had established positive identification based on the weapons we've identified and the demographics of the individuals. The pilot replied, we are with you. Our screener updated only 1 adolescent, so that's 1 double-digit age range. 12 or 13 years old with a weapon is just as dangerous, said the A-team. Before they shoot, they decide and discuss. They're calling in Kiowa helicopters armed with Hellfire missiles as well. The Predator would target any survivors who tried to flee. We're probably going to be chasing dudes scrambling in the open when it goes down, the pilot told the camera operator, whose job was to place the camera crosshairs on the insurgents so the pilot could fire the missile. Stay with whoever you think gives us the best chance and shoot at them. So the order was given. Hellfire strike the first and third vehicles, and they burst into flame. Dead and wounded were everywhere. somebody saw someone who was headless, another cut in half. The Predator crew in Nevada was exultant. They were watching men they assumed were enemy fighters trying to help the injured. They're joking. Self-aid buddy care to the rescue, one of the drone crew members said. I forget, how do you treat a sucking chest wound, said another. But then the screeners in Florida realized something was wrong. The thing is, nobody ran, one crew member said. Yeah, that was weird, another replied. The camera operator asked, who are those? What are those? Women and children, the Predator's mission intelligence coordinator answered. That lady is carrying a kid, huh? Maybe, the pilot said. The baby, I think, on the right, yeah, the intelligence coordinator said. Younger than an adolescent to me, the camera operator said. Reviewing, they surveyed the damage, the carnage, seeing other children. The Predator crew tried to reassure themselves that they could not have known. No way to tell, man, the safety officer said. No way to tell from here, camera operator said. By U.S. count, 15 or 16 men were killed, 12 were wounded. Elders from the Afghans' home villages said that 23 had been killed, including 2 boys, Daoud 3 and Murtaza 4. No way to tell from here. No way to tell from Creek Air Force Base. No way to tell from Des Moines. I heard in our trial in Missouri, because our judge said that in a U.S. courtroom, international law is irrelevant, and said that U.S. law trumps international law. And so our expert in international law, former Attorney General Ramsey Clark, was not allowed to testify, but he told us a story in our meetings before that, talking about, he was President Johnson's Attorney General, and he was telling an Iraqi friend what a loving man Lyndon Baines Johnson was about Americans, and how Johnson would talk about when he was a young man teaching school in Texas, about young black kids who didn't have shoes to wear to school. But the same man, as President of the United States, was gleeful over the deaths of Vietnamese children. And speaking about these Vietnamese children being killed in the most horrible, racist, cold ways. And his friend said, a true prophet is the one who can love at a distance. And see, I'd say our technology, our brains, our education has all been, the genius of this country has been put in ways we can kill at long distance. And we need, our challenge is, we need to learn in equal measure to love at long distance.